Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Let's have a little look and see if I can find you. Or find me, actually. That's what I need to do, is find myself. Where am I? I mean, this is all wonky, isn't it? How do I make this straight? Okay, so we are on our final session for the day. It feels like I shared about so much, and it feels like it's gone by in the blink of an eye. So, yeah, I found it. Yes, and Nadia. I'm tagging everyone I know who is here before, so this is all I have to work with. Okay, here you go. Let me know who is watching live. Come and say hello. We're going to go into, obviously, I'm going to talk about the essences, obviously, but I'm also sharing from the liminal to the limitless. And I'm super excited to share this because what we're really looking at in human design alchemy is this transformation, is the transformation from, hold on, just needed the charger. The transformation from, hi, Suzanne. The transformation from who the world has told you you are to who your soul designed you to be. Let that sink in for a minute. Human design alchemy has been created for the transformation from who the world told you you are to who your soul designed you to be. So when we're looking at this transformation, at the heart and soul of who you are, your soul already designed you to have this pure, potent power. At the heart and soul of who you are and who you were always designed to be, what you're designed to be, here to be, do, have, experience, grow wisdom from, all of these things, that has already been created for you. That's already been mapped out, like the masterpiece that you are. All of these pieces have been perfectly synchronized, have been perfectly crafted. That is at the heart and soul of who you are, is this pure, potent power that is able to tap into everything that they already require, which is already inside of you, to manifest everything that you desire. Remember, manifestation in human design is bringing into reality. This is all we're doing. We're bringing it into reality. So when we really understand that concept and we understand that it's about accessing what is already inside of you, it's not about creating something new. It's not about doing something different. It's about literally taking these layers off. The world told you who you were through these experiences of school, of family, of relationship, of your own perspective of the world. And when we're looking at how the world told you who you were, we're looking at it through the lens of your own perspective. Everything else that happens around that, the experiences where we look at in human design. So human design theory says that you get conditioning from all of these beliefs in the world, from all of these experiences that you have, where you're most receptive for that conditioning is in the undefined centers, which is also how you get the portal of wisdom. That's how you access it, by moving through the conditioning. So we have to reframe the way that we even look at conditioning. But the way that we look at everything that's happened, the way that we experience it, our perspective, our perception in that moment, that creates the memory, that creates the emotion, that creates the energetic, that creates the resistance. When you think about this, so the way that I see it is like, we're all kind of like pea soup in a way, right? Where we've got these parts of energy that is like it's in stasis. It's there. It's holding pattern. We've got to unlock it. And the more that we access the awareness of what is there, the more we can unlock it. And sometimes we don't need to even have the awareness. We just need to have a general idea or a general feeling. We can unlock it, and it's like dominoes. But they come from, all of those things come from, we're walking around going, well, it's not my fault. I've got conditioning, or my human design has given me this conditioning, or these patterns, or this sabotage. But that's not true, because all of that comes through one very important lens that you are responsible first. This is the lens of your perspective or your perception in that moment. That's the first layer, always. Anything else that happens beyond that comes through that layer. And this is an important piece to remember, because imagine if you wake up and you've missed your alarm and you're running late, and you get out of bed and you stub your toe, and then the shower's broken and the water's all cold, and then you haven't got time to have a coffee, and your mood in that moment is like, meh. Or maybe not good at all. And then you're driving and you've got to get somewhere, you're super fast, and then someone cuts in front of you. You're like, what are you doing? What is happening? Like, your perspective in that moment is that the universe is out to get me. Everything's going wrong. What is wrong with everybody else? Whereas if you get out of bed and you've got all the time in the world, and it's a bit like, a Disney movie where the birds come in and they're helping you make your bed, and they're doing your hair for you, and everything's great, and your coffee's already waiting for you, and you're drinking your coffee. You don't even have to worry about having a shower for a little bit. Just chill out, and then you go have a nice hot shower. You're driving and someone cuts you up, and you're like, oh, don't worry about it. They're obviously in a rush, right? Two scenarios where the difference is what is going on for you in that moment. This is the same as when we have these different emotional experiences. The way that we see through that lens is different. If we're in a disempowered place, we see the world differently. If we're in an empowered place, we see the world differently. So one of the things that I always say, and for my clients in here, you'll have heard me say it a million times, everything's perfect. It's all perfect. It's all perfect timing. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to. It's all perfect. Over and over again, because then that creates my perspective of the world. But in order to get to the place where you can start to create your perspective of the world, you have to accept responsibility for your perspective of the world. That is not something that is controlled by anybody else. That is not something that is designed or created by anybody else. That is your perspective. And this is where the mastery in your alignment and your embodiment is so important. Because when your perspective is skewed, it's compounding what is already there. It is compounding what the world is giving you, right? So we're in this space of, for example, the world that we're in right now, this paradigm that we're in right now. Is this similar to inner shadow work? Yeah, in a way. But it's called, in human design, it's called conditioning. So it's the shadow that is, ultimately, here's how conditioning works. So conditioning, for example, let me talk about some of my conditioning that has been really fun. The open emotional center means that I feel everybody else's emotions, which has been super overwhelming in my system. So for the longest time, I have numbed out. So when I was younger, feeling all this emotion, okay, I'm going to numb out. And that looked like drink and drugs and sex, boys, like anything distracting. Other undefined centers come into that, but that's another story. But the emotional center, so let me numb out. And then understanding that this is a pattern. I do this when I feel this because it's overwhelming to my system. One of the other patterns that happens in the undefined center is around boredom, because with the undefined center, you're designed to be calm. But because you're numbing out from the feelings, there's some kind of paradox that also goes on, that the emotional center then becomes a little bit addicted to the feelings. So a little bit of a drama addict. So when you have a feeling of being bored, like this was my trigger for me, it was always boredom. Then I would do something to fuck shit up. Like, I'm bored, I'm going to fuck shit up. So I'm bored, I'm going to have an argument with my partner. I'm bored, I'm going to move to Bali. Literally, what happened? I'm bored, come on, Archie, we're moving to Bali. I'm bored, so I'm going to create inconsistent income in my business. This is the pattern, right? I can see the pattern because I know what's creating the pattern and I know what's like the sabotage is. So I know what has been from that energetic, which is where the real alchemy is. And then I know how it's going to show up in the future. So that's where the embodiment is. So you alchemize what was, and then you embody so that you're always empowered, or as not always, right? We don't need to aim for always because that's not how we're designed to experience and designed to work. But we're here from this place of, I am in dedication. I always talk about this as a dedication. I am in dedication to my practice of alignment and embodiment. And alignment is the first level, if you like, right? The first level of access to this. Because as I already mentioned, this is where we have the awareness, the understanding. The embodiment is where we're living it, where it's in our body, we're living this experience. So when we can really access that, energetic alignment, which is always going to be in human design, it's always alignment of the soul. So it's alignment is alignment across the board. So in human design, your soul created your human design. It already gave you what you have energetic access to in your chart and the way that you're here to experience that. So your energetic alignment is always going to come back to alignment of the soul. So when it comes to alignment in the soul or energetic alignment, and yeah, embodying who we truly are. I'm going to come back to this in a second. So when we're looking at this in the context of shadow work, for example, yeah, it is similar. But the part of human design that we're working with first is what we can access and what we're aware of. Because when we can come from this empowered place, then we can start to recognize the patterns that we're playing out unconsciously. And in human design, you've got these two parts. So when you look at your chart, you've got the personality side and you've got the design side. I realize when I do it on here, it transposes it back to front. So anyway, on the right-hand side, as you look at your chart, you've got the personality side. That's the planetary alignment, the time and place that you were born. The left-hand side, which is the design side, is the planetary alignment at the time and place that your soul was incarnated into your body, which is roughly 3 months before. Now, in order for you to understand these two pieces, the personality side is conscious. That's what you're aware of. And this is what you're going to be more connected to. Whereas the design side is unconscious, and that's where you're going to be less aware of, but that's how the world sees you. So we're working with both of these energetics inside of your design. Now, if we break that down into all of the elements that is in its entirety, that's a lot of work. So most of the magic from human design comes from embodying your type and your authority, which are directly connected to the centers that you have defined or undefined. So when we're working with the centers, that not only accesses this level of activating your magnetism. I'm getting super distracted by the questions. It's not you. Keep asking the questions. It's just me. I'm like, come back to center. When you're working with the centers, then it is activating your auric field, which is your strategy, your type, how you're designed to interact in the world. It is activating your authority, which is how you're designed to make decisions in the world. And it is also activating your magnetism and your wisdom inside of you. So it's a super quick way to do all of the pieces in a really empowered way, if that makes sense. Like when you're looking at the technicality of human design, the centers is a great starting place. Now, if you start going into, and you asked this earlier, actually, Susan, what is the difference between the two colored centers? In the chart that comes from my website, if the centers are colored blue, then they are conscious to you. That's come primarily from your personality side. If they're colored in brown, they are unconscious to you and they've come from your design side. Now, how that works in reality is the way I see it and interpret it. Hello, defined Ajna, is the personality side, let me get my words right, the conscious side to you, which is your personality side. You've already mastered that. You've already done that work. You're already connected with that. Whereas the design side, which is unconscious, me doing the hands is not helpful because it's transposing. It says design, or I think it does. Let me check. Yeah, it says design and personality over it. So follow where it says design and personality. Personality is conscious and the design is unconscious. So where you've got those centers that are colored in brown, then that is your unconscious, which means that you are here to step into that. The personality side is you've already done the work. The design side is this is what your soul has asked you to step into in this lifetime. Okay. Okay, we're not going to do all that. If I start explaining this, I mean, literally, here's the thing. Just take my money. I love that, Rachel. So here's the thing, Rachel. I have a certification for human design, and it has taken over a month to cover like what is in the chart. So I can't go into all of it now. But the centers, hold on, let me get my QVC on. The centers, this is where you're going to be able to, when you go through this human design alchemy, this is where you're going to get the most impact. So the thing about this is when we're looking at the liminal to the limitless, when we're looking at where it sits in human design, your human design already came here with this pure potent power in order to create your life purpose, to live the life that you're designed to live. What happens is we have these layers of conditioning. Remember, it's like putting on different clothes, but we have to accept responsibility that we also have played a part in that conditioning. We have to accept responsibility that we have been a part of that process. If we don't accept responsibility for that, it's going to be very difficult to, because then we're looking outwards. It's going to be difficult to shift the perspective so that the embodiment and the dedication to the embodiment every day is moved, but it's also going to shift the focus outwards. And this is important because when I talk about being empowered, I literally mean, where is your power? Is it here or is it out there? If it's here, then you're working with your energy, you're resilient, you're regulated, you're empowered, you're magnetic, you're aligned, you're embodied. That is the state of being where you're able to manifest and bring things into your reality. I mean, here's the other piece of this. We're always manifesting, always. We just don't always like what we're manifesting. So we're like, oh no, I didn't manifest that. Yeah, I did manifest that thing that I really love. Right? We're always manifesting. But when we're working with our energy, then we're able to work with the quality of our manifesting. We're able to work with the quality of what we're experiencing in our life. We're able to bring these desires into being. That is the difference. So when we take this perspective and we say, okay, I have responsibility for this, then it really empowers you because your power is inside of you. When you've got the power inside of you, then you're not looking outwards. Where is my power? It's outside of that because you're to blame for this situation and you're to blame and my parents are to blame and the society, the patriarchy and blah, 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 all the things outside of you, right? The same with your business. How am I going to grow my business? Well, I need to do this blueprint. I need to put all my power on Facebook ads. I need to put all my power on this. It's like we have to come back to a place where we recognize where is your power. And I have my clients check in regularly through the day. Where's your power? Where's your power? Is it here or is it out there? Now, part of embodying your human design is going to empower you because you will start to recognize those patterns that mean that we start to go, well, I'm going to put my power outside here. So, for example, with me, with numbing out my emotions, well, I'm going to put my power on, I know, alcohol, or I'm going to put my power on being able to go to Bali, or I'm going to, like, whatever it is, I'm going to put my power over here, somewhere else. So when we look at your human design and you can bring your power back in, where you've got your defined centers is where you can bring that awareness back. So you can come back to what I call your empowered foundations. What are your centers that are defined and what do they mean to you? What are the themes that run through them and how can you bring your energy back? Now, the reason why this is important is because as we go through these 3 phases, remember, we've got the triangle. Everything's a triangle. I'm soon going to have a whiteboard in my studio so that we can do like, let me draw another triangle. I'm just going to have a triangle imprinted on it. So the first level is alignment. I spoke about this briefly earlier. So alignment in the context of human design is operating and working with your auric fields, understanding your defined centers, and making decisions from your authority. So it's your strategy, your type, your authority, and your defined centers. It's also a little bit of your profile, but we're not going to go into that too much now. That is your alignment, because that's what you're working with. And the thing about alignment is this: it's a bit like a Mario Kart. You've probably, some of you in here have heard me say this a lot of times, and it's a really powerful visual. Like Mario Kart, you're driving along, racing the car, you're on the road, everything's great. I'm in my car, I'm racing towards the finish line. I love it. Life is great. And then all of a sudden, like a giant mushroom comes and bops you off the road, or a car behind bashes you into the corner. Something happens and you're off the track. Now, when you're on the track, this is where you're in your version of alignment. Now, every single human design type has a different version of alignment, how it feels for them. So you have to figure out what yours is based on your human design. If you go to my website and get your chart, it will tell you exactly. And you want to work out, what does this actually mean to me? And then you want to be able to recognize when you're out of alignment. Now, again, depending on your human design type, you will have a different experience of what it means to be out of alignment. Now, why this is important is it gives you tangible benchmarks. Am I in or out of alignment? And the goal is not to not be out of alignment. That's part of our journey. The goal is to bring yourself back into alignment as soon as you notice. And this is the dedication. This is the dedication always. So we master alignment. And then embodiment, we want to go deeper. So embodiment is, how am I actually living according to my got distracted by the questions. How am I embodying this according to my design? How do I live this? How do I work with my body to be supported with this? Because ultimately, most of us are walking heads, right? The society that we're in this masculine society, that's the paradigm that we're in, and we're transitioning at the moment. And what we're doing is really connecting with this energy inside of our body. This is where the wisdom is. If we're walking heads all of the time and you look at your human design chart, most of your energy is in your body. Most people have all of their energy in their body. So where are you connecting to? What the places where, yeah, sure, you can access loads of wisdom. There's whole portals of wisdom in your head, but we're not operating from that place. If you think about how the undefined head centers are designed to interact, how they're designed to work, versus how society has told us to use our head, right? Let's play this out. So in this world that we're in this patriarchal society, we're told that we have to be logical, rational, reasonable, that we have to prove our value by how clever we are and how much we can remember, because that's all the school system is. Not all of it, most of it. We have to be able to logically create and logically store information, and blah, like that is the sign of what society is looking for. So if you've got an undefined head center and you're still trying to do that, let's think about the ajna, for example. I've got to figure out what is going on. I've got to figure out how this information works for me. I've got to figure out how to make it work for me. I've got to figure out what my point of view is, what my opinion is. No, that's what the world wants you to do. Your wisdom is on the other side of that. Your wisdom is actually in the ability to contemplate without putting pressure on yourself or value or meaning on your level of certainty over what you contemplate and the conclusion that you come to. You're designed to contemplate. You don't ever have to come to an answer. You don't ever have to come to a concrete solution. You don't ever have to do that. So if we're not embodied, if we're not connecting with our bodies, then what is happening is we're not even accessing the wisdom, because we're in this place of, well, this is what society says. So in embodiment, we are working with the physical, the cellular, and the energetic. So embodiment is like literally how you're living it, how you're connecting with your body, how you're listening to your body, how you're allowing that energy flow inside of your body, and how you're using that. I mean, for me, embodiment is a tool as well as a dedication. Like, I dedicate to it every day because it is bringing me expansion, which I'll touch on in a minute, but also obviously we spoke about with Kat, is the regulation in your nervous system. It is bringing me connection with my body, the wisdom. It is in turn creating magnetism for me. But what it also is doing is allowing me to use it as a strategy, as a tool in my business. Because, for example, when I am launching something, the first thing that I do is embody it myself. The first thing I do is walk that talk myself. I go through the work first myself, because that is where the magnetism comes from. In walking through your work yourself, or in connecting to your human design, or any level of embodiment, what happens is we get these opportunities to calibrate. That's what I call them. You might know them as lessons, tests, and they're not lessons or tests. They're opportunities to calibrate, because all it's doing is, if you look at alignment, is like all of this is an everyday experience, right? But alignment and then embodiment is like, this is the liminal. When you use, particularly when you use it as a tool, this is the liminal. This is the transformation. This is like the alchemist pot, right? This is where we're in that. I don't know what's happening. I don't know which way is up. I don't know which way is down. This is this really feminine energy that is the darkness, that is the connection with faith and trust, no matter what. When you're feeling all of the feels and they don't make sense to you, this is like the liminal for me, is oftentimes where I am on the floor going, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this business. What was I even thinking of? So the liminal is really this beautiful experience when we can connect with it as a beautiful experience, even if in the moment we're like, I am done with this experience. And the reason why it's so powerful is because these opportunities to calibrate. Because if you are embodying, for example, you're embodying let's go back to the emotional center, right? So if I'm embodying what it means to be an undefined emotional center, it means that I get to experience these opportunities to calibrate, which might all of a sudden look like lockdown with your parents. Literally what happened to me. I was like, okay, I'm really going to embody this. I'm going to really go deep into this. And like my open emotional center. Okay, COVID, lockdown with my parents. We were in Spain. We left Spain just before they went into lockdown. My house was rented out, and then UK went into lockdown. So I ended up doing lockdown with my parents. I can tell you that I had two choices. My perspective had 2 points of awareness. It was either like, what am I doing? This is horrendous. I can't live in this house with like my parents and I, we have a really close relationship, but living in each other's space wasn't always great. Or I could go through the lens of, okay, I know what's going on energetically. I know their human design. I know how to work with this. What am I going to do? Like, this is my point of calibration. And that's really where I really mastered the emotional center. And it changed our relationship massively. It changed our experience and like all of it. But that was my opportunity to calibrate, because what's happening is you're stepping into it and the universe is like, okay, I can see you're stepping a little bit into this. So whether it's like embodying something in your human design, or whether it's expansion in your business, the universe is like, okay, I can see you're stepping into this and I really want to support you, but let's just give you a little opportunity to calibrate to this so we can really set this energetic for you. That's all that's happening. The universe is not like, I'm out to get you. Let me screw you over. Let me send you all these tests that you're going to fail. That is not what the universe is doing. It's like, I really want to support you. So let me give you this thing that I know you can deal with so that you can calibrate. This is embodiment. And this is where a lot of people go, no. That is uncomfortable. The universe is out to get me, right? This is where a lot of people are like, I can't. And the truth is, You have to master your own experience with this. The truth is you have to master it because it's going to happen over and over again. But this is the key to unlocking expansion, because as you're going through embodiment, this is where the expansion happens. Because the more you're embodying, of course, you're having this like energetic upgrade because you're calibrating. But you are also in this space of embodying in your body to open up your nervous system so that you're expanding to receive more, to open your capacity to receive more. Does this make sense? Do you see how this comes through? Let me know. I want to read the comments now. Yeah, the power is inside 100%. Have responsibility for everything. Amazing. Quantum human design is just a brand of human design. So Karen Curry Parker, who made Quantum Human Design, she studied with Ra, worked with Ra. So Ra Urahu is the founder, the messenger of human design. So Karen Curry Parker, who created Quantum Human Design, she worked with him and she created her own terminology, essentially, around human design and branded it Quantum Human Design. So human design at its core is human design, and then people take what they want and interpret it how they want because it's still relatively new. It's only from the 80s, so it's still relatively new as a concept and a science and a synthesis of sciences, right? Is one better than the other? No. Well, obviously I'm going to say mine's better. So yeah, this one. But it's all about preference, ultimately, who you vibe with, what you vibe with. And the more that you're connecting with your own human sign and following your own authority, you'll find the way. Well, join in today. Give me everything I need to do what you are saying we need to do. Join in today will give you the essences, the activations, or the alchemy, and it will give you the embodiment practices, and it will give you the wealth code activation experience. But, and I'm going to be super clear with you, there are other things that I offer that have more support, because you don't have support from me with this. That doesn't mean it's not powerful. It doesn't mean it's not amazing. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to give you everything you need, because I don't know what you need unless we're working like one-to-one, or unless we're doing one-to-one sessions. I don't know what it is that you need. Plus, it's not got like business strategy. So I have a lot of other courses and things that go into more of the business strategy, but everything is underpinned by these energetics, everything. Yeah, indoctrination, be good little civilians. Yeah, you're working on soul conscious level, not a subconscious level. My in-laws now live with me, so I'm having major shifts. Yeah. I felt that they were here to grow. Definitely. There's always expansion in these things, right? Total sense. Amazing. Makes sense. Okay. Fabulous. So this is how we start to use this understanding, awareness, and the empowerment through the embodiment and the tools. I mean, these are essentially the embodiment tools, right? The essences. Hold on. Let me get my QVC vibe on. On average, how many one-to-ones do I? So I don't work on how many. It's a package. So if you want to talk about one-to-ones, Rachel, then you can drop me a message and I'll talk about it then with you. I will tell you I've only got one one-to-one space at the moment. So if that speaks to you, then let me know. I think even if you studied for a year, you still wouldn't know it all. Well, here's the thing. We are always an evolution. We are always evolving. We are always, because we're always like running through this cycle of alignment, embodiment, expansion, alignment, embodiment, expansion, alignment, right? We're always moving through this cycle in one way or another. And it's not always like this. It can be like, you know how it goes. So the thing about that is, we are always experiencing a new way of seeing things and a new lens through which we're understanding things. And if you think about it, you know, there's been things that have been said to you that didn't land until the perfect time, because you needed to go through certain things, or you needed to learn other things, or you needed to experience different things, or you just needed to be in a different place. So there are going to be things that didn't land for you until the perfect time. And it's like, I've had this so many times before, but I really didn't get it until this moment because, well, I had to go through all of those things first. And it's the same with all of this, right? So in terms of moving from the liminal to the limitless, this is kind of what alchemy is. If you think about what alchemy is, at the heart and soul of it, it's turning shit into gold. It's turning your blocks into gold. I don't talk about blocks because I don't really like the press that blocks get. Firstly, let me just have a hot minute here. Firstly, if all conditioning is a gift and all of the things that we experience are perfect to activate our wisdom, why are blocks bad? Why are we always seeking out, what is my block? I need to get rid of this block. Oh my God, I got another block. Why are they bad? If all of it is part of our evolution, our expansion, and our learning for this wisdom that we're here to receive, why is it bad? Like, it's just not. So when we're looking, Rachel, if you've got questions about the products, I'm going to answer them at the end because I want to give you this piece. So stay in this piece with me, okay? Learn the liminal to the limitless piece, and then we can talk all things essences, because listen, I can get my QVC on all day long. Okay, so moving from the liminal to the limitless is the alchemy process. This is the alchemical transformation. This is the part of the journey that is like the feminine depth and the darkness. So in the world, in this paradigm that we're in, there's this movement from masculine to feminine. And that's moving from a paradigm perspective, an energetic perspective. It's moving in the way that we're working. It's moving in the way that we're showing up in the world. It's moving in the, how many people are doing embodiment, how many people are doing feminine leadership. It's showing up everywhere. But the truth is, we want to be in the feminine, but we don't want to be in the feminine, because the feminine is great when we're thinking, okay, well, all of a sudden, in the feminine, we don't have to do as many things. We don't have to be action taking, hustling, go, go, go. We actually get to be lean back, get to be the queen. We get to be lean back and just magnetic, and we get to follow our flow. And we get to be in this turn on and orgasms all day and masturbating with crystals and be a millionaire and everything's amazing. Right? Was that the vision of the feminine that you were sold in your business? Here's the truth about the feminine. The feminine is the dark. It is the depth. It is the unknown. And people freak the fuck out there. It is in the dark and the depth and the unknown that the transformation happens. In the dark and the depth that you build your trust and your faith. But in your willingness to find the feminine that you were sold, we turn away from the feminine that we need. We're like, yeah, I'm all up for being a queen and just vibing on all the like Instagram highlight reels and all those things. But actually, you need to go into the depth, and you need to go into the darkness, and you need to go into the unknown, and you need to go into the uncertainty. You need to trust it. Yeah, bondage. I mean, I'm going to be started on bondage. You've obviously never heard me talk about masculine and feminine before, Rachel. I can totally go there. So the thing about the feminine, the thing about this is that is the liminal. But we're not taught in our society, we're not taught in our world how to be there and be okay with that, because we're in this patriarchy, like we have to make sense of it, or it has to be logical, blah, 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 blah. But it's, yeah, exactly, enough with just the goddess side, 100%, because that is like love and light, spiritual bypassing. It's the same. We have to understand and learn how to be okay being in that darkness and not knowing what is going to happen on the other side, and not knowing which way is up, and not knowing, and being okay in that liminal, because in that space, that is also where emotions are raw, where senses are heightened. That is also where we create, where we birth. It's a really powerful place. But in order to be there and in order to get there, we have to be able to understand this is part of the process, because your brain is always going to take you off track because you've had all of your lifetime being conditioned in your brain, minus whatever work you've done, like embodying human design or the feminine or any of those things. But most of your life conditioning your brain into, we need to be logical, we need to be realistic, blah, 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 all those things. So when you're in the liminal, when you're in the depth and the darkness, your brain is freaking out. What is this? What is happening? This is also the same as in ancient civilizations, women were the leaders, but men didn't understand intuition. So they freaked out, got rid of the women leaders, and they took over. True story. Your brain is going, what is happening? I don't understand this. This is not safe. This is not good. This is not comfortable. This is not logical. So we have to talk to the brain. We have to give it the information so that it understands, no, it's okay. This is part of the process. It's totally fine that you're feeling this, because on the other side, there's limitlessness. On the other side, there's expansion. On the other side, there's light. But while you're in the darkness, you've got to really understand how to soothe the brain through this. And the more you do it, the more you'll understand your own process with this. The more you do it, the more you're going to be able to access, okay, this is my rhythm with this. This is how I can support myself. This is how I embody. This is how I go through the embodiment practices, how I use these flower essences, how I support myself with the alchemy or the activations. This is how I allow and I build that trust. And the only thing that you need to remember is that there is no time focus, like there's no deadline on the liminal. I've been in the liminal for years before without even knowing it. But sometimes it can take us like one day. Whew, that was a ride. Okay. So the liminal, in order to be in the liminal, in order to be empowered in that space, you have to also be empowered in your own embodiment. You have to understand the process, and you have to understand the energetics of feminine and masculine and be able to really be in that space. Because on the other side of that, when you're trusting in the feminine and you're going through those embodiment practices, you are opening up to receive more. Guess what you're receiving? Think about it this way. Rachel, we can do this for you. No bondage. But listen, a woman who is feeling really juicy and turned on, and she's really connected with the potency that's inside of her, and she's really embodied in this magic, and she feels safe to receive, and she is literally opening up to receive. What does she receive? Masculine. Hello, masculine, beautiful masculine. Bring all this masculine energy in. Masculine is the money of time. Is the money of time? Is the energy of money and time. It is the energy of your desires. It is the energy of your desires manifest. It is the energy of the reality. It is providing your wildest desires. The masculine is waiting to provide for you. But you have to be in that space to be like, oh, I went through the darkness and it was perfect. And I'm ready to open up to limitless, because the limitlessness, this is a tongue twister, comes as a result of going through the liminal. This is the expansion. So the more that you're supported during that space, the more that you are really able to connect in with the essence of trust and the essence of safety and the essence of opening up. And this all comes from understanding the masculine and the feminine, not only on an energetic level, but also where that sits in your chart. This is where you're going to be able to access limitlessness. Does this make sense? Do you see how you can navigate that process? Do you feel like you can do that in an empowered way when you're connected with these? I love that. Perfect timing, Rachel. I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to talk bondage. You can invite him in to look at you and be like, what are you listening to? Okay, so questions. It's like riding a bike. You can learn to ride with training wheels than without them, then on one wheel, then doing tricks. Yeah, exactly. I'm loving this real talk. Amazing. It's like Cave of Wonders. You have to enter the darkness to quiet the world around you and the distractions to be able to fully go inside and get in touch with your inner power. Exactly that, right? So, does anyone have questions about what I shared? I wish I brought more water here. Let me know if you have questions. What I'm going to do is do a recap of the offer, because I know Rachel was asking some questions. I'm going to do a recap of the offer, and I'm going to answer your questions. And I will do another competition as well to see who's won a mug. I mean, I think they're really beautiful, but just not physically here. Here, look at these beautiful things instead. Okay, so let me recap for you. Human Design Alchemy is a synthesis of systems to work on an energetic level and a physical level to fully embody you in an empowered way into who your soul already designed you to be, so that you can access pure, potent power that is the heart and soul of who you are. That enables you to be more magnetic, to access manifestation and miracles, and to open up to wealth. So the whole of the offer for this launch offer this weekend is that you get 9 of these, 1 for each center. There's an essence form. They're all specific formulations as well. It's not like the same formula. Here, use this for every center. Can you imagine? So you get an essence for each center. You also will receive activations and alchemy sessions, as well as the codings for each center, so that you can pick and mix your perfect journey through. This is defined, this is undefined, this is what I need from here. So you have access to all of it. Eventually, I'm sure this will be all automated, but it's all perfect. You also get the embodiment practices so that you can live this every single day. The coding you also do every single day. The essences also every single day. But that will all be explained to you. You'll get guidance around that. Plus, if you join this weekend, firstly, you get the launch investment, which is only £199 plus postage and packaging. And you also will get access to a unlock your what have I called it? What have I called it a name? I can't remember. Activate your wealth code, which starts on the 22nd of November. So very specifically, what this is going to cover is understanding the energetics of wealth, how you're designed to experience wealth, and activating your wealth code through empowered energetics and embodiment. And that is an 11-day experience, which normally I would charge at least £555 for, because it's really potent. So coming into that space is part of the journey of understanding how to work with these essences and the practices and your human design, but also to connect you with opening up, to go through that expansion process. Maybe you'll go into the liminal in that process, but you will understand the liminal and the limitless aspects of this journey, because I'm going to be explaining to you about wealth and the masculine and the feminine, how they all work together. You're going to open up and expand your capacity to receive during that process. So all of that for £199 plus postage and packaging, which I can't remember, like £5 or something. I can't remember what it is. Once the launch offer is over, the investment is going to be higher, and there will be no wealth code unlocking, activating. There will be no live experience either. So, also, that's the other thing I forgot. I had a little glance down on my pad. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this. If you sign up today, you will also be entered into a draw to win a one-to-one human design alchemy session with me. These usually, so my one-to-one for human design alchemy specifically, not the business stuff, is what is it currently? Like $1,500 a month. So one of those sessions is worth $1,500. So if you have any questions, let me know. Who has any questions about anything that I've shared today, about the products, the offers, any of it? Let me know. Chart says caves. Yeah, so that's your environment that you're designed to activate your genius in, Suzanne. That's what that means. There's a lot to the chart, right? So I've been doing this for years, And I went and did an advanced human design certification a couple of weeks ago. And it's like a whole new level of, okay, this blew my mind a little bit more. And it was stuff that I already knew, but I didn't know it to the depth that we went into it. And not only just the depth of how we went into it, but why it is like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, activate your genius in a cave. Yeah, so it's not a literal cave. It's a space that, and it depends. I mean, I would have to look at your chart. So it depends. So for example, Archie, my son, he's a 2-4. So the 2 is the energy he's most connected to. And that is the energy of the hermit, stroke intuitive. And he loves to be in his room. And for him, he's designed to be in a selective cave. It's called selective cave. He has a cave, like he has his space, and it's got one door in and out. And this is how he connects with his sense of safety, is on the basis that he knows who's coming in and who's going out of the cave, right? And because he's got this 2 energy to hermit, that's where he is activating his genius mind. Mine is a wet kitchen, right? Human design is funny. So a wet kitchen is literally like where you're bringing, it's like an alchemical place, like a creative alchemy place where you're bringing lots of energies together. So yeah. And the wet bit is that it's is, oh my goodness, what was I going to say? The wet part is that it's to do with humidity. So I found this out when I was living in South Spain, and where we lived in South Spain is a microclimate that it just didn't ever rain. It maybe rained 4 times a year or something, but I'm a wet kitchen too, right? So then I was like, what? I need to be in the rain? I've literally spent so long trying to get away from the UK because of the rain. So yeah, it's very interesting. So the £99 consultation is available. So I needed to put this, actually. This is one of the things I forgot to put. That's like, you can get that if you have the essences. So that's only for people who've bought the essences. Like that needs to be an upsell, but it's a brand new company and getting the technology in place is not quite there yet. So you can, yeah, £99 is on the sale page. So go buy your essences and then book the consultation. I'm back. I can't see who it is, but welcome. Welcome back. Okay, so any final questions? Oh, Sam. Hi, lovely. Any final, I went over to Facebook and it told me. Any final questions? Let me know. Let me know. We're all good. Link again. I can do link again, I think. There you go. Link delivered. Okay, so final, I'm going to do the final competition winner in a minute. But what I will say is that the competition for inviting people is open until Monday, until the launch offer finishes. The launch offer is a one-time offer. It is open until Monday evening, UK time, whenever I remember to take it down, basically, or until the products are all sold. You get 9 essences, you get all the activations and alchemy to work with them, and you also get the embodiment practices, plus you get access to activate, what is this called? Activate your wealth code experience, which is worth £555. And you get all of this for £199 plus postage and packaging. If you have any questions, let me know. The competition and the launch offers are in the featured post. All of these videos from today, I'm going to put into a guide, so you've got access to them. I might also share one of Kat's embodiment practices. I'm feeling into that. And let's now see who else is going to win a mug. A mug, they don't really sound very exciting, but I do drink a lot of teas. So I'm like, a mug, it's like the best thing ever. Okay. Okay, Rachel, you have won a mug. So drop me a DM afterwards. It would be helpful if I had one to show you. Drop me a DM afterwards and let me know your human design type, and we can get your mug arranged for you. Amazing. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about the essences, about human design alchemy, about any of it, then let me know. And if you are joining for the launch offer and you buy today, you will also get put into a draw for a one-to-one human design alchemy session with me, which is worth £1,500. So we will go, like, there's a lot that happens in that one session. Okay. Glad I've watched live. Yeah, I'm glad you've been here too. Thank you so much for being here. You're amazing. I love you. I'll speak to you soon.